we've got two individuals, Angela and Joseph Potgieter, who has possibly one of the most inspiring testimonies I have heard in a very long time. For a number of reasons, right? Specifically for the case of Hold Up, SARS wrote off how much money? Sorry, say that again. I didn't hear that so clearly. 4 million rand. This is not what SARS does.
Yo, that is a huge amount.
They don't do this. But why? How? What has this journey been? Why did they write off 4 million rand? Joseph says, my dad passed away at the end of 2020. It was only last year, 2022, when we kind of just discovered a metal box amongst all of his belongings. And in it was Freemason artifacts which belonged to my grandfather. Among these items are contracts signed in 1933 to the local Freemasons coven. The freakiest part of all of this is that I was named after my grandfather. Hold up, we've got some more. We have the exact same handwriting and signature.
Yo, that is powerful.
Bro, it is as if I just as well signed this very thing myself. Joseph and Angelique joins us right now in studio. Joseph, Angelique, Potgieter, husband and wife, good afternoon. It's a pleasure and an absolute delight to have you. Thank you for coming in. When you guys shared your testimony at the Encounter Ascend conference, I was blown away. I was shocked, and immediately I knew, no. The listeners must know about this. They need to hear about it. So you guys owned a farm, is that correct?
Yes, so we started a farm in the Free State in 2016. The idea was to do something to build up the community and create something that kind of can create lasting generational kind of wealth and inheritance, and also kind of build up the community.
Okay. And on this farm, Angelique, you guys had animals, lots of animals?
I was in charge of the livestock. We had over 1,000 sheep. We had cattle, I think over 1,000 chickens at one stage, pigs. And then Joseph and his brother did the maize, the disykant, the agricultural side of the farm. So there was a mixture of, we did basically about something of everything.
Okay. So you guys now have a farm. You wanted to use this farm for community upliftment. We throw forward to 2020, 2022 when your dad passed away. Is that correct, Joseph?
He got diagnosed with lymphoma.
Yeah.
He was supposed to run the farm because just in terms of his life, it has always been a struggle. And I don't know, I couldn't really explain why. Just nothing worked out for him. And I wanted to give him this opportunity to build a legacy.
Yeah.
And he was going to look after the farm, but then he got diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And then speak to me about the whole financial situation. I know you guys then left where you were to come to Cape Town. Why was that?
So we did a lot of things on the farm. We really put our hearts into it, and we did a lot of stuff. We planted over 2,000 pecanut trees. We planted maize, wheat, and we had cattle. And nothing worked out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nothing was profitable, and it was mixed farming where there was 7 different revenue lines. Nothing made a profit, and we couldn't understand it. So at the end of last year, we were really at the end of our own courage, and we didn't want to leave the farm.
Yeah.
But God opened up opportunities, and He really just took us. He took us off there, and He moved us to Cape Town. What happened? The previous company I worked for, which I left 7 years ago, they phoned me out of the blue. Can I come back?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So just so.
Just so.
And then you said no, obviously.
No, I actually at that point we were
rock bottom.
We
Rock
were
bottom.
at
We
rock
rock
bottom.
bottom.
So you said yes
Yeah.
to the job.
Yes.
But we tried to make the farm situation still work with the Cape Town situation in where Joseph would work from the farm. And we actually this was also a very interesting story. We came down to Cape Town for 2 weeks trying to see if we can maneuver the farm, and but we couldn't. And I had to make a decision to sell the last of my animals, especially the pigs that I had. And I didn't want to advertise on Facebook. I didn't do anything like that. And literally, all that I said in my prayer was, God, I don't know what to pray, but you know what we need. I don't know what we need. Anyway, I think it was a week later, I was in Checkers buying a energy drink, and this gentleman came up to me and he spoke to me about the energy drink. And funny enough, I mentioned that that I'm a farmer, and he asked about what do I farm, and I said pigs, and I said, no, but we need to urgently sell it. And he's like, okay, give me your number. He came to look at the pigs the next day.
Yeah.
The day after that, he picked up half of them.
Oh, wow.
Bought it just like that. The week after that, he came to buy the rest. I didn't advertise. It was actually, he bought them on the last day. The next day, I had to buy food, and we didn't know where we were going to get the money for, even to go buy food for the pigs. So
Come
it was
on,
like an
Jesus.
arrow from God sent right. I cannot explain it.
Yeah.
That was a testimony from my side.
Dit raak my regtig.
Hey,
Incredible.
this is faith, man.
Wonderlik.
Yeah.
So, and I think for me, part of it was the fact that you guys came to Cape Town, to my understanding, with nothing but just a vehicle.
Two vehicles, which one didn't work for 2 years. The mechanic couldn't figure out what was wrong with the vehicle. For 2 years, it stood on the farm, not working. And I think the week before that.
Yeah, the week before we had to leave, we got it running.
Wow. just so happens.
Yes.
But you've been dead for 2 years. Now you want to come alive.
It happened
Crazy.
extremely suddenly.
This is amazing.
It was when God started moving, it happened extremely quickly.
Yeah.
And we were in God's will without knowing we were in His will. If that,
Yes.
His will for us, if
But
that
now,
makes sense.
when you guys came down to Cape Town with your two vehicles, did you have a house where you were gonna live, or what?
Yeah, so we rented a house over the internet, so we didn't see it. We didn't.
Yeah.
And I mean, at that stage, I haven't earned a salary for 7 years, so I didn't have a credit score, nothing.
Yeah.
And the landlord was fine. She said we can rent the house, no problem.
Wow. So, okay. Yeah. Speak to me about this whole SARS situation and the financial part to it, and selling of the farm as well.
So it was about January when I owed SARS a lot of taxes because of the farm and the losses and all of that. The taxes kind of accumulated.
Yeah.
So can I mention numbers?
Go for it. Yeah.
So at the beginning of the year, I think I sit with a tax bill of over 6.5 million rand.
Sure.
And I had no idea how I was going to pay this. There was,
Sure.
I mean, we're talking about a farm in the Free State. There was no buyers. There's a lot of people who want to buy it, but the banks don't want to finance it because it's too high risk. So we're sitting with all this property, with this huge tax bill, and we don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But then I managed to negotiate a deal with them, which was a miracle on itself, where if I do pay some amounts over the next 6 months, they were willing to give me some grace.
Okay.
So that's how we arrived here in January with this huge tax debt sitting over our heads.
Jan this year.
Yes. And basically not knowing who's going to buy the farms, how are we going to start a new life. That was January.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the 1 month where we feel like it's 2 months, you guys made this decision, and look at God show up, and then I think 4 million rand got wrote off.
Yeah, so part of, I believe, God did so much for us. He wasn't going to just leave us. So part of the miracle of his tax write-off was not just, he's going to sort it out, that we know. But he was going to make sure we understand he is sorting it out. So the 6 payments we had to make through the February till end of September.
Yeah.
Every single month, we didn't know where we're going to get that money from. We tried everything we could, and every single month we had to say, okay, God, we did what we could. You have to now sort this out. Sometimes on the last day of the month, money would come in. Not miracle money. We had to negotiate and be obedient. An hour before the cutoff, the money would come in and we could make that month's payment.
Sure.
And that's how we continued for 6 months. Every single month was a miracle on its own.
It was literally the day of Yusuf he would come to me and he's like, okay, I was able to pay the money. The day of the cutoff, on the 30th of the last day, he would, so
to end the story, so the 4 million write-off, because I was in good faith with them and I made these payments, they said they'll write off the remaining balance, which was 4 million rand.
Wow. Oh, wow. Sure, this is just phenomenal, man. I mean, this is faith on a level which, again, I felt inspired listening initially. Now I'm just inspired once again listening to the level of faith and obedience that you guys had to endure, the level of obedience. But now, here's the thing, because this was mentioned off air. This is all good and well. But this journey was 7 years.
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
7 years.
So the journey on the farm was, I mean, you cannot farm without being on your knees every single day, because you're so dependent on nature. You're dependent on lots of things around it. And we were in preparation of this last little challenge, if you want. So the 7 years ended in quite a high note, but the years on the farm, we spent a lot of time on our knees in faith, trusting God that there will be a harvest.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's powerful.
We are running out of time at the moment. We've got news happening on top of the hour. We need to say our goodbyes. Just very quickly, Angelique, I mean, how has this experience shaped your faith and your love and just the mindset, and if any, an encouragement to the person listening right now?
All that I can say is that God will never leave you nor forsake you. He will, even though you don't hear him, he hears you. He hears when you are crying. He hears when you're on your knees. He will make a way where there is no way. Where you want to give up hope, just don't. Pray, be on your knees. Know that he is a God who sees. He sees your prayers. He hears your prayers. He is with you, even though you are going through your darkest times. He will not leave you, and not our timing, his timing. And when he moves powerfully.
When he moves powerfully.
He moves powerfully.
Angelique and Joseph Potgieter, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for speaking to us. Thank you for sharing your journey. Thank you for sharing your testimony. Thank you for encouraging us today. To those of us who thought we'd lost any faith, well, we certainly gained some listening to you. Thank you. Thank you, and a million thank yous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
To those of you on Facebook Live, julle mense is mooi mense. Dankie dat julle ingeskakel het en dat julle vir ons so lekker dophou. Thank you so much. And also to those of you tuning in on the AM frequency, man. Thank you for tuning into the show. It has been an absolute amazing time spent with you. Thank you to my co-host, man. Thank you, my co-host.
Ag, dis 'n plesier.
U was lekker, man. U was 'n lekker persoon vandag.
Dit was wonderlik.